only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, looking outside and seeing some rain shower activity. Rain shower activity all across the Great Lakes Bay area. Individual spots, light, very few moderate precipitation tallies here so far. But for the most part, it is just a dreary day out there. 40 degrees at the airport. It is currently 41 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland is at 40. Downtown Bay City also looking at 40 degrees. Northeast breeze, that's what's cutting through you. About 12 miles per hour, 29.72, and steady is the barometric pressure. Just to kind of give you an idea of how weak that system really is. The low-pressure system itself is trying to work its way into and around the Chicago, Illinois area. It's, for the most part, drifting in that direction, and that's where it'll take up residence for at least 12 to 18 hours, just kind of spinning away, not really doing a lot other than just keeping us on the cool side of things and the damp side of things. What's happening is it's deflecting quite a bit of the moisture away from the Gulf. As a result, we're not getting much of anything in the way of precipitation, and whatever we do get is going to be measured in tenths of an inch rather than in a quarter of an inch or half inch or more than that. What we have been watching is some pretty turbulent weather over the last 12 hours anyway, in the middle section of the continental United States, all the way from Oklahoma and Arkansas up into the lower Ohio River Valley. And there is talk of not only flood watches up in a number of areas in the Ohio River Basin and areas to the south, but also some severe weather that could crop up as we go into the afternoon and the evening hours in Ohio, as well as southern sections of Indiana. And all that activity is moving in an easterly direction. It's not heading in our direction, so we're not going to have to contend with that. A number of tornadoes, tornado watches in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri so far. There is, as we indicated, flooding that will be occurring in the Ohio River Valley. 7 states have some form of flood watch or flood warning up as of right now that will continue through the nighttime hours into the early morning hours tomorrow morning. Snowing in Wisconsin, and it does appear as though that snow shower, snow flurry activity is going to continue there for a little while anyway. As a result, we are going to see that chilly air that's over Wisconsin gradually work in our direction. I think by the time the day is all done today, we should be looking at 46 for a high. The best chance of that occurring is going to be later on this evening. Our high temperature for the day will not be reached before sunset tonight. It'll continue to climb ever so slowly as that low churns away in the southwest corner of the lower peninsula, and it is going to be pushing a warm front up into the lower peninsula. Just exactly how far to the north it gets is debatable, because we do have a high pressure system over the central part of Canada, and that, with its clockwise circulation, is pushing some very chilly air down into the upper peninsula and into the northern sections of the lower peninsula. So we're just going to have to keep our eye on it, because what it is going to do eventually is push that low once again into Indiana and Ohio, and then up the east side of the lower peninsula through the eastern portions of Michigan's thumb, and then out into Canada. Eventually, what that means for us is a chance of some snow showers and snow flurry activity. But at least for the remainder of the day today, into the nighttime hours tonight, And then for a good part really of the day tomorrow, we're not anticipating much of anything in the way of snow. Now, snow is in the forecast. There will be a few flurries, but nothing of any measurable consequence during the day tomorrow. We're going to be looking at a high temperature of 45, 46 degrees, which is our high temperature projected for the day today. Our low tonight after midnight will drop down into the low 40s, possibly 39, but we're going to have that wind to contend with. The northeast winds will pick up in intensity as we go through the afternoon. We're going to see gusts up to 30 miles per hour this afternoon, along with those spotty showers. So it's not only going to be damp, but it is going to be very chilly. Hopefully you didn't put that winter coat away because it is going to be pretty cold. Tonight, we're looking for that chance of widely scattered shower activity. Coverage is going to be quite widespread, but the amount of precipitation is not going to be that much. Again, 39 is what we're looking at for a low tonight. An east wind, not a northeast, but an east wind, 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then as that low pressure system wiggles a little bit more to the north of Chicago, the wind is going to become southwesterly tonight, 10, 12, 15 miles per hour. That's the wind speed tonight. It's going to become a little bit more southerly during the day tomorrow, about 12 to 15 miles per hour, becoming southeasterly at right around 7, 8 miles per hour later on tomorrow afternoon. So as you can see, that low pressure system isn't really doing a lot of movement because the wind directions are like all over the place. So it's wiggling back and forth, north and south, east and west, and it's just generating a whole lot of clouds and some precipitation. As it wiggles itself to the east, it's going to open the door for some snow shower and snow flurry activity. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have a few flurries, as I said. We're going to have some spotty, light rain. The low pressure system, eventually by late tomorrow and tomorrow night, will be situated over Lake Erie. So that is going to mean a little bit better chance of seeing some snow shower and snow flurry activity. That'll be late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Now, during the day on Thursday, we'll only get up to about 40 degrees, maybe 41. Clouds, some flurries around. There will be some light freezing precipitation on Thursday. But as we work our way into the evening hours after a northeast wind during the day tomorrow, Thursday gusting to 30 miles per hour, we're going to see some partly cloudy skies late Thursday night and early Friday morning. There is going to be a chance of some snow shower activity around. Our temperature on Thursday night will be 32. And during the day on Friday, we'll start off with clouds. I think we'll make it up to, once again, about 45, 46 degrees. But working our way into the afternoon, we'll have a much better chance of seeing some breaks in the clouds and seeing some sun. And by Friday night, we're going to be looking at partly cloudy skies, 32 for a low on Friday night. Then on Saturday and Sunday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies both days, temperatures in the 50s, about 53 for a high on Saturday, 57, 58 for a high on Sunday, which means, quite frankly, that opening day and opening day weekend down at Comerica Park in Detroit will still be looking pretty good when it comes to precipitation free and some sun. Now, the long range outlook to take us all the way through the 15th of the month is for our temperatures to average above normal for this time of the year, in some cases much above normal. That would mean roughly 10 degrees warmer than average, and the precipitation pattern should be right around average, maybe slightly above normal. Now, what's average? 50 in the afternoon and 31 at night. Record high in this state is 82. That was set back in 2010. The record low is 15. That was set in 1924 and tied in 1954. Sun will set this evening at 8:05, rise tomorrow morning at 7:14, and you won't see either of those. Coldest ever, April the 2nd, 1936. 30 was our high, 20 was our low. The warmest ever was 2010. 82 was our high. 58 was our low. Now, the snowiest period right now, this time of the year, was back in 1975. Today and tomorrow, April the 2nd and April the 3rd, we had altogether 14 and a half inches of snow. And again, that's a 2-day period, kicked in about noon on the 2nd of April and continued into the morning hours on April the 3rd. And again, it was 8.5 inches on April the 2nd, and then 6 inches on April the 3rd. That was back in 1975. Incidentally, a year ago, 46 was our high, 24 was our low. So we're running a little bit warmer than what we were a year ago on this day. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, we've got Abby Twilliger from the Andersons and Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. But before we get to them, we want you to remember the weather forecast has been brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth. They're going to pair you up with the right Farmall tractor that'll fit your need, whatever job you need to get done. That's the nice thing about the folks at Weiss Equipment, because they carry the full line of Case IH Farmall tractors. Farmall A Series, Value Pack Compact Series there, all the way up to the Deluxe Compact Farmall C and C Series with cabs. Obviously, the tractor does it all. So no matter what you're doing, Can Do comes in red, and it's called Farmall. For more information, you just stop by Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth, doing it right longer. We say good morning to Abby Twilliger over at the Andersons. Abby, how are you today?
Doing pretty good, Terry. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. I wish I had a better market for you to talk about.
I wish I definitely had a better market.
Boy, the wheat is
for
really
the past couple months.
Yeah, the wheat really took it again hard, and it looks like corn was kind of following suit the last time I looked.
Yep, they're both down right now. Old crop corn's down 6. Old crop wheat is actually down 10 now. Old crop soybeans was actually up about 12, 13 a little bit ago, but it came right back down. It's only up 2 at the moment.
And the reason why?
I think wheat, a lot of it is the good to excellent, or the crop condition report came out yesterday, and that went from 50 to 56% in the good to excellent category, and the 5-year average for this time of the year is only at 42%. So I'm guessing it has a little bit to do with that. Soybeans, I have no idea.
I don't know how many people do, quite frankly. It is really it's really been tough.
Things.
Yeah, it's really been tough out there. So on the board right now, what do you have, Abby?
On the board right now in Hemlock, old crop corn 363, new crop 403, old crop soybeans 1130, new crop 1120, old crop red wheat 458, and new crop 499, and then also new crop white wheat is 554.
Okay. Well, you take care. You have a great day, all right?
Thank you. You as well.
You bet. Abby Twilliger over at the Andersons. What's going on as far as the Chicago Board of Trade is concerned? Doug Klein is not available today. We are looking at the corn currently down 7. The May contract is at 428.5. The corn contract July is down 6 3/4. That just changed now. It's down 6. at 443 and a quarter. Soybeans, May contract 1186 and three quarters. That is now up of a penny. The July contract of beans also up one at $12 and a half. Wheat is currently down 8. That would make the May contract at 549. The July contract is down 7 and three quarters, 565. While we're taking a look at the Chicago markets right now, the Mercantile Exchange, our beef cattle, they're trying to make a little bit of a recovery there, anywhere from $1 to almost $2.50 to the positive. The pork complex, though, not following suit. We've got negative trading going there, anywhere from down a nickel to down 30 cents. Crude oil is currently up $1.39. The May contract then is at $85.10. We'll be right back.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning out the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden, but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal, recycling today for tomorrow.
Reliability, one word that packs so much meaning. Delivering on promises, standing the test of time, knowing your equipment is going to work when it's supposed to, or having someone knowledgeable there when it doesn't. It's the thing that gives you confidence during the toughest of seasons. So at Hudson, when we say reliable, we don't take it lightly. That's why we sell John Deere. Reliable equipment, reliable service, reliable people.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Kryzak's House Family Restaurant. You got an event coming up in the not too distant future. I'm sure a lot of you do, and many of you are probably going to have to supply the food for that event. 989-894-5531. That's the telephone number. They'll have it ready for you. Then all you got to do is pick it up. And as we've said before, you will be a hero at your event. Also, don't forget, and I can't imagine how you would forget, Mother's Day. Now is the time to be booking that table for Mother's Day at Kryzak's House. Give her a real treat. They know how to do it right at Kryzak's. Kryzak's House, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Farm Service also brought to you by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center, joining us right now. And Jerry, I had a chance to talk to another landscaper here from around the state a little bit earlier this morning, and he was telling me about his forsythia, which have been outside all the way along. He says his are in full bloom, and mine aren't too far behind.
No, that's getting to be that time, Terry. So they're kind of almost stuck in a state of suspended animation. Sometimes when it warms up so quick, they just flower. In a week or so, they're gone. My Cornus moss, my Cornelian cherry out front, has been in full bloom for about a month and it's working on 5-6 weeks now. So it's this weather, it came on quick. It's kind of slowed down. Our normal highs are supposed to be 50. And so right now, we're kind of at that or a little bit below right now, huh?
Yeah. Well, we were having 50 when it should have been 40. Now we're getting just the opposite.
Yeah. So, everything averages out. So, but for those plants, the bloom is good. And forsythia, remind us it's time for crabgrass control, but not the first sign of forsythia. Probably be better at the last sign of forsythia bloom.
Yep. I think you're right there. You take care. We'll talk to you again soon, like maybe tomorrow. All right?
Absolutely.
Jerry Samalski,
You
Bay
bet.
Landscaping and Garden Center over in Essexville. Along with me, Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. And Craig, when the weather was a whole lot nicer than what it is today and will be for the next couple of days, we saw a lot of those two-wheelers on the road, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did, Terry. They came out just like the spring flowers, really quick and seemed kind of early. But yeah, the motorcycles were out and about, and hopefully folks remembered to call their insurance agent if they had their bikes in storage or layup for the winter to put the full coverage back on before they hit the road, and also talk about the medical coverage from your motorcycle policy, because that's a little different than the car policies. You do have some limits available. They're smaller typically than the ones available on the cars. So hopefully you're having that discussion with your agent before you hit the road with the bike.
And it might be a really good idea to make sure that that bike is serviced, because the last thing you want to have is a bike along the side of the road because you forgot to get the carburetor cleaned up.
Yep, for the ones that still have the carburetors, or even fuel injection can give us issues. So yep, it's take these days where we got the rain today and do the maintenance, so when the sun comes back, you can get out and enjoy it.
Important information. Craig Voorhees, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon, all right?
All right, Terry, thanks.
Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. We'll be right back.
Challenge. It's not something you shy from. It's a chance to up your game. Every day brings a new challenge, but with the enhanced Channel Seed brand on your side, you can rise to it. With our top-performing seed, innovative digital tools, and expanded agronomic support, you can turn tomorrow's challenges into your next advantage. Your enhanced Channel Seed brand. Let's rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Along with me, we have Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting. Eric, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Terry. How are you?
Hey, tax time. I'm sure everybody knows we're counting down, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a break. Like the 15th is not going to fall on a weekend this year, is it?
No, we're for the first time in a long time. We're back to the 15th being the drop dead date.
That's a bad choice of words.
Very true.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about, speaking of that, why don't we talk a little bit about retirement plan contributions?
Sure, yeah. Just a reminder for those that are still filing their returns, you can, in some circumstances, still make a contribution to a traditional IRA or a SEP IRA if you have a small business. Those contributions have to be in by April 15th to be able to be deductible and reduce your taxable income for 2023. You can also do the same for a health savings account. So if you have a high deductible health plan, you can also make contributions into a health savings account and get a tax deduction for that. That also has to be done by April 15th. So we've got a little bit of time to do those things and possibly get your taxable income down as well.
How many folks have been in to see you so far with just the regular tax due on the 15th?
Oh, quite a few. I don't know if I can count that high.
Really? Any big surprises or major concerns that they've expressed to you, Eric?
You know, the biggest thing I'm seeing is just the changes in depreciation this year. Everyone, especially that has small businesses, are used to being able to write off a lot of the purchases of equipment. And this year, in many cases, they're getting limited because the current tax law is starting to phase out some of that bonus depreciation. So just seeing a little more tax due because they can't deduct all of those purchases. That's probably the biggest surprise to a lot of people this year.
Well, I guess. For more information, how do we get a hold of you, Eric?
You can go to our website, www.yoandyo.com, or call us at 989-793-9830.
Eric Sawatsky, you take care. I know you're going to have a busy week. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great, Terry. You too.
Alrighty. Eric Sawatsky, Yo and Yo Accounting. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. They've got a great selection of products from Nature's as well as Sure Crop that'll help you increase your yields. And the expert advice of certified crop advisor Vic Huffer on top of all of that. And of course, they're a Dairyland Seed headquarters too. Freeland Bean and Grain, serving you since 1983. Where serving you is their business. There's been a lot of chatter about all the activity going on in that Baltimore channel. We're just kind of curious, what effect is that possibly having or will have on agriculture? CJ Miller files more from the Michigan Ag Today.
The collapse of that bridge has brought further attention to America's ports and the shipping industry.
When you have a trauma to one key one, like what's happening at Baltimore, there is going to be clearly some negative ripple effects for that.
And that's Mike Steenhoek, Executive Director of the Soy Transportation Coalition. He says the incident on March 26th highlights the critical role that ports like the ports of Baltimore play in our supply chain.
It really just underscores the reality that, while our oceans are vast and expansive, all of that ocean transit eventually narrows down to where that it originates or whether it's destined to, and that's our port regions. And they're really critical to our national economy and hence our national security. So the whole notion of investing in our ports, maintaining them, securing them, it must remain a national priority.
He says that while just 350,000 tons of soybeans went through the ports of Baltimore in 2020, the incident shows why America needs multiple transportation options to make sure that ag products flow smoothly to and from their destination.
It has benefited us as a country that we have such an array of ports on the West Coast, on the East Coast, on the Gulf Coast, on the Great Lakes. So we certainly benefit from having these pretty significant number of ports.
The Port of Baltimore is responsible for moving just 0.3% of U.S. ag exports and 2.1% of imports, meaning its overall impact on U.S. ag trade is relatively minor. However, the Maryland Ports Administration has suspended all vessel traffic in and out of the ports of Baltimore until further notice.
Do you have a history of white mold or SDS in your bean fields? While you can never predict when disease will occur, using the right seed treatments can reduce your risk of yield loss when it does. Did you know adding Heads Up to your seed treatment package brings a proven mode of action that primes your beans so they're ready to fight off disease all season long? Ask your seed dealer to apply Heads Up for protection against both white mold and sudden death syndrome this season. Learn more at headsupst.com.
Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude with the playing of our national anthem.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. We're hearing from Secretary of State Blinken about the Israeli airstrike labeled unintentional in Gaza that killed aid workers. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Blinken called the 7 World Central Kitchen workers heroes.
The victims of